IBC, just shooting a very quick entry in Gimmie 10, Freddybigstar's Gimmie 10 series. We're up to 1988, the year of Acid House, though I won't be showing any of that in this video. Okay, let's get straight into things. I'm going to start off with 3 CDs, so you'll have to excuse me. Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation, could be said to be their kind of, well, I don't know if you'd call it their breakthrough album, but maybe it certainly did bring them to a wider audience, I think. Yeah, superb album, Teenage Riot. You know, if there's one Sonic Youth album that you know, really I'd recommend it be this one. So Philip Glass, and I'll have to be careful how to pronounce this. Powakatsi. I think that's kind of close to how you pronounce this. This is the soundtrack to a documentary. It was actually, I think, there's a series of these documentaries. I'm not sure what the first one was, but this came out in '88 with soundtrack by Philip Glass. Opening track, Sarah Palada, is kind of a ethnic, not abusive, ethnic percussion. Anthem is quite a well-known piece there. Anthem, it's a piece that's turned up quite a lot in one of his better-known pieces, I think, by Philip Glass. And Mr. Brian Eno and chums, Music for Films 3. This is Eno with a very large list of collaborators, including his brother Roger Eno, also Daniel Illinois, John Paul Jones, Harold Budd is in. Yeah, Harold Budd is in there as well. But absolutely superb. Well, because there's such a list of collaborators, and there's something kind of different on every track here. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's a continuation of his Music for Films series, which he started in '76, I think. So yeah, superb ambient album from Eno and others on this. Music for Films 3. Okay, onto the vinyl. Talking Heads' Swan Song, Naked. This is an album which is very much overlooked and perhaps underrated. I think it's a better album certainly than the one that preceded it, True Stories. It's got some similarities in a way with Remain in Light. It kind of does return a bit to that, you know, the African rhythms of that album. And I mean, it's far from their best album, but it's certainly a better album than for what it's given credit for, I think. And it was the very last release by them. Okay, Morrissey with his debut solo album Vivah Hate. This was big in 1988. I remember the 2 big hit singles from this, Suede Head and Every Day is Like Sunday. Those were big in '88. Weirdly enough, The Smiths had broken up the previous year. I was I was aware of the Smiths, but I was only only very vaguely aware of them. Where I grew up, we didn't have a decent. Well, you know, I grew up in a place where we really only had very poor radio reception for one thing. So all you really could get was the local radio stations, which were complete rubbish. So you relied on TV for kind of keeping up to date with music and so forth. I remember seeing a couple of the Smiths videos on TV. I remember seeing and what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. Anyway, I didn't immediately twig that Morrissey was when this album came out. I didn't immediately twig that he had been the singer with the Smiths, because but I remember seeing a TV documentary, which I think was actually '88, about the Smiths, and it was only then that but it was through that TV documentary that I really kind of became more aware of the Smiths, and kind of in retrospect started getting into them. But anyway, that's getting away from this album. Yes, Morrissey's debut album, and a very fine solo debut it is too. Okay, now this is an album called Fade Out by a band called Loop. This is sure if this is their second or third album, or yeah, so they're kind of in a way kind of some similarities with maybe Spacemen 3, but this is more heavy rock, kind of neo psychedelic rock, but maybe a touch of shoegaze. This came out, maybe this came out on actually label called Complete Music, but yeah, kind of at odds with a lot of what was coming out in '88, but yeah, superb kind of spacey neo-psych, maybe could be kind of termed, maybe, I don't know, shoegaze, I don't know, but anyway. Okay, next up, okay, I did pick this up only recently, but I have to show it again. I had it on CD already, but only found the vinyl recently. This is Plight and Premonition by David Sylvian and Holger Czukay. Already gone quite into detail on this when I showed it quite recently, so I won't go too much into it, only that it is an absolutely superb ambient album. Also, if I could, I showed David Sylvian's Spirit of the Beehive in '87, quite similar sleeve design. I like that kind of, I really like that monochrome kind of effect. That's actually design and photography Yuka Fuji, who I presume is Japanese, so responsible for that very striking design. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing collaboration between Holger Czukay, formerly of Can, and David Sylvian. Okay, now The Fall. Now, I really like The Fall, but I have very little by them in my collection. This is the only album of theirs that I have on vinyl. This is called I Am Curious Orange, and this was basically part of it was basically a ballet of all things that Marty Smith wrote and produced in 1988, and this was this is the soundtrack to it. Basically, I had absolutely no idea what it was about, but this was produced during the Brick Smith years, so yeah, so I don't know, I suppose everybody I don't know. I like all periods. Fall stuff, but yeah, Brick Smith did add a kind of maybe slightly accessible air to the Fall's output, but yeah, I suppose that's a matter of opinion, I suppose, really. But it's called I Am Curious Orange, and came out on Beggars Banquet, which, I mean, they absolutely went through so many record labels, the Fall. So okay, this is a compilation. The Jesus and Mary Chain, Barbed Wire Kisses, B-sides, and B-sides and more. So basically, yeah, pretty much as it says on the tin, B-sides and alternative versions of singles, Upside Down, Psycho Candy, yeah. So yeah, if you're a Jesus and Mary Chain fan, as I am, this is an absolutely essential album to own. Yeah, it is a compilation, and these songs didn't actually come out themselves in '88, but yeah, it's a good standalone album, really. In the Mary Chain catalogue, or whatever you call it. Finish up with actually someone who surprisingly has featured very little in the Gimmie 10 series so far. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Tender Prey. Yes, this has the Mercy Seat, which was covered by Johnny Cash on his American series later in the 90s. Mercy Seat is absolutely superb, intense track here. Also, oh yeah, Deanne, I really like that one as well, and the track City of Refuge. Again, it's not one of their better albums, but I mean, certainly definitely is up there in the top 10 for '88. Interesting enough, this copy has an old review, a live review from the NME from 1988 tucked into it, which is nice. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, New Musical Express, November 1988. So yeah, reviews of the Happy Mondays as well, who would go on to become quite bigger in the following year. But anyway, that's my top 10 for 1988. Hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you all